Get you fat. I'm Jason.
Like Wayne's World.
This is Alex.
We are on a Zoom call with Mystikka Masala, the winners of the Great Food Truck Race 12.
Congratulations, guys.
Hey.
We have a button for that, guys. But
It's
thank you
going
for. So, all right.
3 seconds.
We haven't seen you guys in a long time, and we're super excited to hear about your experience, because I mean we made it a couple episodes. We did a good job, so we'd like to thank
You guys did
Awesome.
But so tell us, okay, your story after what did we do?
We left in Palm
Springs.
There you go.
Palm
Why you
Springs.
gotta
You guys
put
were
me on the spot like that?
So y'all went to that hookah lounge for too long.
Yeah,
that's what happened.
The quote-unquote hookah lounge.
we had to go to two different ones. See, that was part of the problem. But
Turn Alex's mic up.
yeah, I feel like my shit's not.
Yeah, so you're smoking the hookah now.
Were you muted?
I don't know if I was muted. Either way, they could hear me, so I'm guessing I wasn't muted. But we went to two separate hookah lounges, and the second one just didn't pan out as well as the first one did, obviously. Yeah. But
I was giving you a hard time because he was having a hard time remembering what city y'all got eliminated in. And I was like, well, I think the hookah lounge that y'all visited probably lasted too long.
Yeah.
that might have more to do with the drinks these days. But I know that the next city you guys went to was Vegas, and I gotta say, I am jealous of that one.
Super disappointed that we didn't get there.
I mean, I out of the group, I'm probably the gambler, so I definitely was upset to find out about that. But how was Vegas for you all? I mean, obviously, like everybody's probably seen the show at this point, but like as a personal experience, like have you been there before? Did you enjoy it? Was there anything different, if you have been there before, about going there for the show? Like, did you experience it in a different way?
I've actually
definitely.
been to Vegas a couple times. That was my first time not really doing like the traditional Vegas thing, like staying on the strip and going to all the casinos and all the restaurants. And we were kind of like in a hotel off the strip, and we didn't venture out a whole lot. And when we did, we went to Old Vegas. We just kind of did some untraditional things.
Oh, so you went to like the old school strip?
Yeah.
we went.
Go ahead, Andrew. Sorry.
Oh, I was going to say, yeah, we saw the vintage casinos and all that. But, you know, like one of the things I noticed, like in one of the challenges in Palm Springs was it was so freaking hot. So, I mean, I feel like that was like the biggest thing. And when we got to Vegas, it was only like 7 degrees cooler. So, like Vegas was crazy hot. But what we learned in Vegas right away is, you know, like all the food trucks had to secure their own location. You know, we had to get those signed agreements. Well, if you think about it, all the hot spots to be are casinos. It's all on the strip. Well, to go up the flagpole and chain of command to get a casino to give you like approval is impossible. So
I know what you're talking about. I tried to do it in Palm Springs.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And
they had that casino in Palm Springs, and I tried to get permission, and it was I was there for like 2 hours and got nothing.
We are not dumb.
Wow.
We just lost.
No, you know what? Actually, there were a couple times where we thought things would for sure pan out, and we were just like, you know what? Either once you got there, you kind of looked at it differently, or you just realized, you know, we're here on a Tuesday and no one else is. So
Yeah. There's so many variables on the show. One of the things that I don't know if everyone really got to see as a cast was all three of us ended up going out in between shooting and like, you know, promoting and meeting people and like trying to get the word out that we were there and
scouting,
dressing up as Mystikka and doing like videos for social media. So
everything short of giving hand jobs. I mean, we were doing anything we could to get people.
That's it.
Yeah.
Is that where you drew the line? Is that where you?
Just kidding.
We have our own triple P, but it's something completely different. It does involve pork.
It's just a G-rated basket podcast.
Yeah.
No, but
that's
that
fucking
really
awesome.
actually helped. That really helped. I mean, Vegas, like Sarah said, is like a place that we've been so many times and we've really enjoyed, but this time it was so different to kind of experience it as a vendor.
Yeah. And I was going to say that our first day of selling, you know, we had to really find our location. So we found the location. On the second day, we had really nothing lined up. A lot of teams, I think, on the second day were kind of scrambling. But that was the day they surprised us and said we're all going to be parking at the Venetian, which sounds amazing because you know how much foot traffic the Venetian has.
Yeah.
But that's foot traffic when it's not 110 degrees. And we were also there again on a weekday, and we're there between lunch and dinner.
Oh no! In Vegas on the Strip, we were there Sunday at noon, and everyone was going to brunch.
That's right. Everybody was either hungover. Oh, sorry about that. Yeah. All the cities were together. They were hungover, going to brunch, and it still was 110 degrees. So nobody wanted to sit outside and hear what we had to say. And I think a lot of people think with all the cameras operating all the time that would attract people, but honestly, it really doesn't have as much draw as you would expect. So even though we were instructed not to say we were part of the show while we're actually selling, even with all the cameras, I was kind of surprised because that did not seem to have draw, even in a town like Vegas where you have a ton of tourists.
Well, but then they have Mystikka, me as the showgirl, so that.
Get out of town. We'll get back to that, but get out of town.
I was also out there yelling at people on the pavement, and then I realized I sounded just like everyone else in Vegas yelling at people. Come try this.
Yeah, we could have titties printed on a card.
Yeah, I was like, you had that jacket for cards, maybe.
So did that change your strategy, Sarah? Like specifically you? You felt kind of like a panhandler, I guess. Like at what point? Like did you just keep pressing on, or? Yeah,
and that happened to me in a lot of cities. I just lived with the rejection, and I'm just persistent, and I realized, okay, I can at least, if I just keep doing this and stand. Of course, I had to take a break every 15 minutes because it was so sweltering hot, and I had to go hydrate. But I would come back, and I'd just be like, okay, if I can get one person to come over in 10 minutes, that's worth it.
It's something. You got something going.
And one of the most convincing strategies I had was telling people that we were from Texas, because I would run into other Texans that weren't necessarily hungry, but they just wanted to support Texas, and so that it was like, there's that out of state, that bond with fellow Texans. And so I was amazed at how many of them were coming over to support us.
Two things, like on that note, I can definitely kind of relate to we didn't meet a lot of Virginians.
Fuck no.
I'll say that.
We met one.
We didn't meet a lot of
three
Virginians.
cities. And that was in San Diego, and that's because we're a Navy town, and San Diego's like basically the exact same as Virginia Beach, just on the West Coast, and we met one Virginian.
Right.
The out of town draw was definitely like a thing though. Like people.
But I think Texas, unlike any other state, has like this crazy amount of pride. Especially, you have Texas, and we had a huge Texas on the side of our truck. So, we had that kind of branding, which helped. But people from Dallas are definitely wanting to come help. But, we were hustling, especially in Vegas, because even though we have a drag queen, that's out there, it's literally like one of many characters. It's
real fast. Like while we were talking about Mystikka, like we thought we had a really solid chance of beating you in Vegas because of the overindulgence versus the drag queen, and like let's see who could do it better, right. And like how over the top could we get to draw the crazy people who are in Vegas for the overindulgence versus Mystikka, which was like one of like the top nemesis of the entire show. Like you guys have to understand that. Like having Mystikka in your pocket was
great.
That was like we knew from the beginning.
We appreciate that.
Like real fast.
The lunch ladies other than a drag queen.
When you pulled out Mystikka when we were in Santa Monica, I was like, we're fucked. I thought about it, and I was like, damn. When you actually see it, you're like, damn, we're fucked.
I forgot that was kind of a surprise for everyone, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah. We didn't know about it.
We knew about it, but we didn't until you visually see it, it's like,
okay.
Damn, she's good.
And what's crazy is we went to a lot of cities on the West Coast, so obviously cities tend to be a little bit more progressive. But actually, when you're in Vegas, you have a mix of everybody from all over, and it tends to be a little bit more blue collared. And I will say, there's some people that were in Vegas that probably have never ever seen a man in a dress or drag queen, any of that kind of stuff. So, as much as you think you would be an attraction, I mean, crazily enough, in some places we saw some negativity from it too. So
really?
Yeah, there were people that'd be like, you see like veer away from there, so
it's like us with vegans.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, totally. It's the exact same. Yeah. It's the exact same.
Except we're not mean. Like, did you guys feel like any negativity? Like, I mean, I'm not trying to like make this into like a thing.
So, I've done drag a handful of times. I did it, when I first came out, just because I was like, I wonder what it's like, something different. And I mean, you felt like an entertainer. I mean, you're really going out there and putting yourself out there and dancing and lip singing. So, and people are judging you on your talent. So it was really interesting. And I always thought, drag would be such a fun thing to actually pursue as a career. But, culturally, my parents and, just our family would always push us towards a career that was a little bit more solid. So that's what I ended up doing. But I still did like a drag show in my college with fraternity guys. That was a great success. I've done drag like a handful of times more after that. But we definitely wanted to use Mystikka as an opportunity to not only have an advantage to kind of stand out, because, Indian food in itself is
I love Indian food. I do love Indian food.
Yeah. But, not a lot of people do, or they're not as adventurous to come and try it out. So we already have that as a challenge, but then to bring an element of entertainment where it's like, I'm going to get to meet this Mystikka Masala, who's an Indian drag queen that's going to add even more value to this purchase. That's basically how we looked at it. And I'm so glad, because it gave us an opportunity to represent the LGBTQ community, but it also gave us a realistic perspective of all the various viewpoints that people can have. And, when you're in the spotlight and, things are featured on you, you're going to see every single angle of support, or not support. So
I have a question.
I have a question too.
I have a question on that note, because during the show, you guys were giving drag names to your customers. Did you get any blowback from that? Like, I think On Your Back made it on the show. Like,
that was a good one.
Actually,
there were some creative names, and I love it. But did you get any was anybody upset about it? Did it all go well? Like, how did the naming turn out?
Well, there were a couple. So I came up with the names, and there were a couple that we were in the hotel room in San Diego that I definitely was like, let me run it by the censorship, which is Navin and Sarah. So because I had some
the censorship.
Just like,
let me run this through the group first.
We have the producer, which is like Jason's wife. We have the producer. Let's run it past the producer and make sure that we're clear.
Before we do anything, hold on, guys. Let me check. I'll be right back. Go ahead. Yeah.
That's exactly what. So there were some that were like
censorship. I call it voice of reason.
Voice of reason. No, but no, the producer is not. She's like, no, don't do that.
Yeah, but we did. There would be times where we would edit at the truck. Like if a kid was ordering a tikadilla from us, we weren't going to hand them on your knees. I'm going to give them another name because I don't want to be yelling that out.
I forgot about that.
All right, real fast, because
the most rewarding thing about, I would say, was actually in Vegas. I had this like 4-year-old walk up to me, and she had the biggest smile, like the most glow face, and she just was like mesmerized by Mystikka. And I connected with her so much because I could see the pure joy from her just with that experience.
Right.
And they got food from us, and the mom was just like really thankful. And I was like, okay, even that one experience, regardless of any of the other circumstances that have happened, that in itself is like just so rewarding to feel like unconditional love and appreciation and value for what you're doing.
But then she was blocking the line, and I was like, get out of the way.
No, because
we need them to come to the window. What are you doing?
Yeah, like I gotta constantly remind myself that we are doing a podcast, not a Zoom. Like I know that we can see each other, but I'm like nodding along and shaking, and I was like, oh, I should tell somebody that I'm agreeing, like, because I get so sucked into the Zoom call that I'm just like smiling and shaking my head, like you guys can see it, but no one else listening to the podcast can it could rattle a little bit.
So you're telling me I learned juggling for nothing?
Yeah, basically, yes.
It's impressive, though. You're doing a great job.
You're doing a great job. Keep it going. But real fast, like, we jumped into this podcast real fast, and I want to start with Sarah. Like, what do you do for a living? And, like, share what you want. Like, we want people to know more about you. And we'll start with Sarah.
Well, a variety of things. One of the Andrew and I have a couple of businesses together, actually.
Oh, you ballers got a couple of businesses together.
I know. We've been Andrew and I have been working together for maybe 8 years now. We started off working together doing marketing and graphic design. I'm a photographer as well. And so he and I had an idea to start a photo booth business. So we go to events, throughout the year and do like a high-end photo booth. We have a black light booth too that we do. So a lot of different kind of event things. And that plugs in real well with, doing catering too and the restaurant and all that stuff. I also have a full-time job. It's
I also work for a living. I have several businesses, but I also work for a living.
But my main passion is photography, and that's what I'm trying to pursue.
Awesome. All right, so let's go to a little, since you have several businesses with Andrew. Andrew, you're up.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, so Sarah and I actually used to work in broadcasting back in the day. And
remember, you can plug anything you want to plug here.
Oh.
This is uncensored to the max.
Be careful what you ask for.
This is why we're here, man. Like, we're talking.
I just need a physical address and I can plug anything.
My P.O. box is. I get it now. That was a little slow. I was a little slow on that one.
Anyway, so my background's in marketing. I worked for ESPN Radio. I was their marketing manager, and whenever I left there, I started an ad agency, and that's where Sarah and I came together to work. And then when we started, Navin he'll tell you his story, but when we started the restaurants, I realized I was like, I got to come over full time. So actually, Sarah, myself, and Navin were all full time at the restaurant at one point. And then Sarah got her full time job, and we'd still continue to be there. So. But my actual passions has always been, I love marketing. It's fun and exciting, but I love comedy. I love, my dream as a kid was always to be on Saturday Night Live. And so honestly, the truth is that the restaurant was always going to be a way for me to pursue that dream, to give me that leverage to go and do that. So that's kind of where I'm at now. That's the chapter where I'm trying to pursue. And of course that's hard to get into, but we'll see what happens. And anyway, I'm available for any thing you guys want.
So Saturday Night Live, if you ever need a Gordon Ramsay.
Hey, we got him right here on the Team Fat Can Choose the Fat. And remember, that's where you found him. All right.
I have a different background for sure.
All right, so I just want to, before you get started, Navin, Navin, like, we just want to make sure everyone knows who's talking. This is the podcast.
Oh, yeah.
They can't see you. They can't see you.
Okay. So this is Navin, a.k.a. Mystikka Masala now. And I definitely have a different background. I met Andrew 13 years ago at a friend's birthday party. And so we've been together ever since. We've been married for a year, so that's been 13 years now. And we have definitely been on a huge journey so far in our lives. I went to school and I got a bachelor's in biology, but I ended up going to University of Houston, getting a second bachelor's in nutrition, and then becoming a dietitian. So I actually love healthy nutrition. So it's funny that I definitely love the lunch. But yeah, we kind of encompassed a lot of different things, just in regards to our background. But so I'm a registered dietitian. I ended up getting my master's in public health at UT Southwestern and working for Parkland Hospital. So that was like, Parkland's one of the biggest county hospitals in the country. And so we served up to 2,000 meals a day. So I learned a lot about people eating unhealthy and having aversions to eating. Unhealthy, yes. So Team Fat Kids, you're on my list, baby.
We're not always
But,
unhealthy.
So no, but
It's moderation,
I'm a
man.
dietitian. Huh?
I said we're just in moderation.
I don't know why you said that. We have
that's
nothing
the thing.
about
Like,
us
so-
as moderation.
Well, yeah, that's the funny thing is like I'm a realistic dietitian. They'll tell you I love tearing up some fried chicken, some pizzas, some burgers. So, like to not eat that is unrealistic. But yeah, everybody has to have some moderation with how much they're eating. So, I definitely believe in eating good food and living well. But you got to do it in certain ways. So, the whole reason why we started our restaurants was because I saw that issue in the hospitals of people eating unhealthy and hating to be on a diet. So if I could create flavorful foods that are still kind of foodie-like and still create a positive perception, maybe people are more likely to eat healthy overall. So that's what I basically started Spice in the City. We started Lucky Cat Vegan. So we had 4 restaurant concepts that we've created and a catering company.
Yeah, 4?
And a catering company. And it's been very successful. We've catered from Bollywood to Hollywood and done so many different events, but the biggest challenge that we've had is really educating people on the fact that one, Indian food's incredible,
I agree.
especially if it's made right.
I concur.
Yeah, and spices are really good for you, and you can add a lot of flavor into your food with a lot of spices. So, I think my main goal, in my career was really to educate people on eating healthier, but incorporating a lot of flavor into your food. And then eating things in moderation. So that's kind of what Mystikka Masala's food truck was, is like, smaller portions of nachos and wings and, quesadilla. You didn't get 8 pieces, you got 3 pieces.
All healthy items.
But, it was portion control, but quality ingredients. So I feel like we still accomplished that mission because a lot of people in a different area really accepted our food, loved the taste of it, loved the concept, and were really overall welcoming to it.
Gotcha. Well, I want to cover a couple of things real quick. I want to get back to the race, but before we do that, I want you to plug your 4 concepts because we are not above shameless plugging here. So take a moment and slowly make sure that you clearly name them all, because I know you named 2, but let's go through them real quick just so everybody knows. If you're ever in Dallas, are they all in Dallas, Texas?
Yes. So all of our restaurants are located in downtown Dallas. We have Spice in the City, which is our Indian Tex-Mex fusion concept. We have Lucky Cat Vegan, which is our Asian plant-based concept. We have the Cajun Queen, which is our Cajun New Orleans concept. And then Hot Off the Press, which is our gourmet pressed panini concept.
Got you. Well, all right. So we just got the warning that we might run out of time here.
The warning that Sarah told us about.
We just got
actually, it says it upgraded you.
Yeah, it said
Yeah,
it said the next Zoom, so I don't know if that counts as this one.
This is our very first one, so we might have got the free upgrade.
So
if it cuts off, it is not our fault. We did not hang up on you.
That's okay. It's all right. We'll figure it out.
I think you can log back in on the same link.
Yeah, probably. Either way, I know we covered Vegas, but there are 2 more cities.
Yeah,
right?
you guys kicked a lot of ass, and I want to know more about you kicking ass.
Yeah, what happened after we left? And I mean, again, we covered Vegas. You could probably skip Vegas if you want to. What was the most exciting thing for you at the end there? Like,
one thing I will say about Vegas is that was probably on a behind the cameras kind of thing, or off camera thing. We as teams actually all went out and hung out in Vegas, and we, which was a lot of fun. Definitely, you guys are missed because it would have totally been your scene. But
we were great frenemies. Like, let's face it,
frenemies.
We were great frenemies.
Honestly, the thing is, I think all the teams kind of realized, and I know you guys had expressed this at one point, but I think at first, everybody has their guard up. You don't know what everybody's bringing to the table, and you're sacrificing a lot to go on this, show. So you kind of have your guard up, and then you realize, okay, everybody's in the same boat. Like, we all are in here on a competition. We're all being thrown these kind of curveballs that we're not expecting, and those kind of things. And so I realized once we were kind of all in the same boat, and there was, and truthfully, the producers of the show kept saying that everything was in the spirit of the competition, and I think they were truly trying to play as fairly as possible in any kind of scenario that came up. And there were things, obviously you guys know, decisions that were made off camera sometimes that were presented to teams. And I think they try to be fair the whole way through. And that happened in other, legs.
I agree. I agree with you.
So yeah. I think because I felt that, it started making me a little bit more open to, getting to know the other teams and all that. But Vegas, I think, was the time especially because Bachelor Kitchen, those guys, kind of got their, worked their way through with just 2 guys because they got cut and they're fun and all that kind of stuff.
They were really good at the challenges. Really good at the challenges.
Oh, they're great at it. And honestly, everybody there is phenomenal. Everybody that we competed against. I mean, we didn't get a chance for, the Eat My Crust people to really shine, but everybody's food there was phenomenal. I don't think we had bad competition. I think literally every city came down to where you chose and what kind of outreach you had.
Lots of variables.
And as you go through the show, you start to learn how to play the game and how the segments work and all that kind of stuff. So
I want to know, did you guys get to actually eat anybody else's food?
We did, actually. The first week... Oh, sorry, Sarah, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say just a little bit. There wasn't a whole lot of opportunity for that, unfortunately, but I do remember having a sope at one point.
Oh,
we never got to. We wanted to try everybody's food, and someone did try to get ours, but it wasn't.
Yeah, I tried the sope. I tried Bachelor's Kitchen's pesto, cilantro pesto with the chicken, which was incredible.
Yeah,
it was mind-blowingly good. And the Super Sope stuff was incredible, too.
Yeah, everything Super Sope had was amazing.
Yeah, Crystal's comfort food, too.
In one of the episodes, we made the chicken wrap that the lunch ladies make, when we kind of did our own little Indian spin on it. But that thing was incredible, and we had people talking. I mean, we definitely had customers going like, this is amazing. So one of the things we noticed, too, I was going to say, is really quickly, or not, maybe not quickly, maybe it was too late, but we did notice that the lunch ladies' prep time was so much shorter than our time.
Oh my god!
And maybe probably shorter than y'all's, just because all the steps it takes to even do the PTP. But for instance, we were making all of our pico de gallo from scratch. We weren't buying it, and we were making tikka, all of our tikka sauce and our tikka quesos all from scratch, and even our tortilla chips. So we were making everything from scratch. And once we realized, our prep time sometimes would take 45 minutes before we could open. Whereas, lunch ladies could open within 15 minutes and they could prep as they go. And so, it took us a long time to learn that.
It took us a long time. Like for us, like we had to grind bacon in order to make a burger. We had our sauce was made by hand. Like the only thing that we bought were hamburger buns. But we also in our mind was like, you know what? We need I say this all the time. We need the crappiest hamburger bun we can find because the everybody is using the same bun. Like when it comes down to when you go to a fast food joint, everyone's using the same bun. It's what's in between the buns is what matters. Bazinga!
Those are my grandmother's dying words.
But no, even
Mystikka and Sarah blush.
Even when we make these things at home, and even on our food truck coming up, we source out just a standard hamburger bun because we just want that normal size bun that you can do at home. We'll show you how to do it at home, and we do it on our YouTube and everything else, and but it's all about the love that goes into the middle portion of the bun. And damn, that sounds bad when I even say that.
It's the love that you inject between the buns. Is that what you're trying to say?
Sarah, are you the me of Mystikka Masala? Because I'm usually the pun guy.
He's really good at tying around a story and just making it fucked up.
Yeah, I will take people's words and twist them into a horrible pun, and you definitely
Okay, that sounds like Andrew.
All right, so let's move on.
I just get it from Andrew.
Let's move on to Santa Barbara and forget everything I said up to this point.
All right, now, so Santa Barbara, what struck us about Santa Barbara when we first arrived there is it's the least diverse place on earth. Granted, it is gorgeous. It's a whole bunch of rich white people. And so when we got there, that actually seemed kind of scary to us because, Indian food sometimes is not well received by people, and so So I was a little bit worried getting in Santa Barbara, and but it ended up being a really awesome place. I will tell you, that was the best hotel that they put us up in of all the places. It was incredible.
Yeah, amazing.
And that made such a huge difference because at the end of the day, we'd come back and it was actually nice to relax there.
So it was better than the hotel they put you up in Vegas?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Dude, we missed out on so much.
No. Wait till we tell you about the last hotel.
I was on that Zoom call. Like, we'll get there. I've loaded ammo for this.
The food and drink and service was so good at the Santa Barbara Hotel that I think we mostly ate all of our meals at the hotel.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, we loved it. And from the hotel, I remember one day, because on our days off, we started soon. As soon as we got to Santa Barbara, that was our day to we would shoot Mystikka videos. We started it actually in Palm Springs. So in Palm Springs, remember we landed there and they had that big ass pool party. Well, we went outside and shot promo videos like it was a pool party pool party's like, I'm in town, or Mystikka's like, I'm in town and they threw me this big pool party. So we started putting together promos like that and making us sound bigger than we were for the...
Yeah, your shit was way better than our shit.
Fake it till you make it.
Well,
they threw me this pool party. They did thro me this pool. Fuck it, yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God, that place was crazy. That place Palm Springs. But that was fun. But when we got to San Diego or Santa Barbara, we kind of started doing the same thing, and so we started scouting the college campus, and we started going to different places and started doing that. But even Santa Barbara was really difficult. At every leg of the race, the hardest thing was always securing a location, and also securing a location that would have good foot traffic. So Santa Barbara was also the very first time that we realized the lunch ladies took a strategic mover to call multiple places and double book on multiple places. So they called multiple business, thus cutting us
dirty.
But it was a good move on their part, and we learned from that. So, but that was we got there, our day one selling, we got the best space you could get. But day one selling is a lot shorter than day two. And on day two, that's whenever lunch ladies got that same space. It was really close to the water. We set up in a couple different shops that tended to be pretty good. And Super Sope, I think their first day was amazing. They had a really good turnout. And I think their location just on the second day just happened to be a little bit slower. But at the end of Santa Barbara, at least for me, I thought we could be going home to Super Sope. I mean, I knew lunch ladies were probably going to kill it because they always had hustle. But I just I didn't feel that strong about that. But we also felt that way about Palm Springs and won.
Well, on our second day in Santa Barbara, we had to move our truck because the location that we chose was strong at first, but then it kind of fizzled. So
live or die on it, like Tyler said, live or die on this island.
Well, fortunately, we did that day have a backup location, and so we were quickly able to move. And because of that, I think that's what saved us.
Having that backup, just like
fat kid question: did you guys ever sell out of a gas station?
No.
Yeah, because that was our desperate move in Palm Springs. Like, we moved to a gas station and we were selling out of a gas station.
Oh yeah, well Palm Springs that Palm Springs that first day we didn't know we were the show gives you a map and we were parked in an area that was okay by the map, but in Palm Springs the police got involved, the mayor got involved. And so we
don't need to get
prepped
in all
on site
that
for a long time.
Yeah, we don't need to get in all that. Hey, yeah, you guys did fantastic in Palm Springs.
So what about?
I will tell you that getting that day two location took about 12 hours of work and talking to about 20 people and lawyers and we literally got approval as we're like pulling into the parking lot. It was crazy.
Hey, our backup plan to that was just to sell at the hotel.
If you could have sold it at the hotel on day one, you'd have killed it. Like
probably.
Because when we first pulled into the hotel in Palm Springs, I was like, we're not going anywhere.
That party was going on,
yeah. Honestly, that party. About it. Yeah, we did think about it.
So, what about the last episode coming back
to LA?
How was that?
So I'm not gonna lie, we were pretty surprised that we were gonna go back there. We were trying to figure out, you know how we were. All the teams were trying to guess what the next leg was gonna be, and we thought we might be going to like San Francisco or something like that.
You guys were super stoked about San Francisco.
No, well,
I thought it would be fun.
That would be incredible, but we didn't know as many people there. At least we knew people in LA, and since we'd already sold there on the first leg of the race, I actually thought I was like, okay, going back into it, we're a little bit more prepared.
So was parking easier?
It was still difficult.
No.
I mean, it was very
No.
Hardest part about LA,
it was very difficult.
parking.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now the cool we did this first challenge that was at a winery, and which was really awesome. And then we went out. Where did we go after that?
Venice Beach.
Oh yeah, then we went to Venice Beach. Venice Beach was crazy. So Venice Beach, we probably spent the day before our day off. We probably spent over $100 in rides, Uber rides to Venice Beach from our hotel because it was pretty far away. And we scouted. We were there for a good 4 hours, right?
Yeah,
or 5 hours. Or something
Long
like that.
time.
We scouted location after location after location, and a lot of people didn't own the parking in front of it, so they couldn't sign off on it. The places that did we went to a hotel that had plenty of parking and was by the beach, and the douchebag owner wanted to charge us $1,500 to park there.
The parking was definitely an issue just in general. I mean, it was definitely luck. I think, on our second day, we ended up having to move too because our first location we parked like right off of Hollywood Boulevard where you could see it, but then we'd have to try to reel people in, but we were parked in front of a cafe and she got real crunk and then we had to move, and then we moved to in front of a t-shirt shop, and then they got really crunk and started blaring their music.
Yeah, so on Hollywood Boulevard, you would expect us to just clean up. We'd have TV cameras, we have a drag queen, but honestly, in LA, people see TV cameras and drag queens
all the time.
So literally, that was nothing. And when we moved to that second location, the show did not show this at all. But there was a t-shirt shop, a souvenir shop. And they did not want us there so badly enough that they brought out a PA speaker and they were blaring music, hardcore rap music, just so that way they knew the cameras and the audio couldn't, be recorded. So the show couldn't use any of it. So it was such a ridiculous thing. And it ate up a lot of our time in Hollywood. So even on our final, when we pulled up to the very final elimination, I honestly just said, well, this has been a great experience. And those lunch ladies hustled their butts off at every moment. And, at least I got to have this experience with my husband and my best friend.
I mean, you definitely don't know what the other teams are dealing with. And I think that's what the show was really interesting because it gave you perspectives on what the other teams were dealing with. And we all had our own trials and tribulations. But I think there's definitely a level of uncertainty, and to see Crystal's comfort food go home for $12, that was definitely a realistic perspective that, hey, one sale could potentially get you to go home. So after that, we were like, okay, we need to bust it every single moment, and whatever happens for a reason.
And Crystal's comfort food is legit too. I mean, they have a restaurant in Philadelphia. That couple is incredible. And he too, I thought we were in San Diego, I thought he was going to clean up because he was, he's in the Navy, and we're there. And I think they realized too, it was just hard. And every leg, location was everything, and pre-planning, no one told any of us teams when we were in the show that we were going to have to do all this pre-planning, and I felt like every leg it got more and more aggressive. We had to be more aggressive about it. So
I love how you call it pre-planning, but let's face it, it was almost like you have a day. It's not
less.
You didn't know where you were going. It was just all right, you have 24 hours to figure it out. Go.
And you got 3 hours to sell.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if it ever happened to you guys. I don't know if it ever happened to you guys on your day off, but on a couple of our days off, they're like, hey, we actually need you guys to go shopping off camera on our day. So we'd have to go spend 4 hours on our day off.
Everybody.
Yeah, and the only thing about that is that would cut into our.
That did.
Yeah. I think it did. I thought it happened to you.
Yeah, we were just
I think
we
had the opportunity 3 times. We only had to do it once.
That's why you don't see a lot of
two
team fat.
times.
You don't see a lot of
that.
team fat kid shopping because
we buy it all at once.
Nah, we're not doing that.
Well, one thing that we learned along the way is, we were, before our first selling day, we have that day off to kind of think about and plan, we don't really have any information, but you start trying to figure out where you're going to park.
That first production day.
Yeah. And we realized that lunch ladies, they were already a step ahead of us. They were already thinking about the next city as we were driving to that city. They were already trying to make connections and, research what kind of festivals were going on. And so they really, really kept us on our toes.
Oh, we were doing the same thing. We split into groups.
I'm impressed. Like, honestly, I'm impressed that we made it through LA in the first round because, like, after we were in Santa Monica, right? Yeah. We drove around. We only had 2 hours to sell the second day. Like, by the time we opened the window. And,
oh, wow.
And, like, our first day sales were that strong that it made us get to the next city. And, like, I was like, holy crap, like,
I think it took us 3 hours to find a parking space.
Yeah, if you ever, if you watch the show, it's when we open the window, it's like 2 hours to sell. Like, it's in the bottom corner of the fucking show. It's like 2 hours to sell. Team Fat Kid open for business. Like, yeah, dude. Like, we're fucked.
We parked and prepped because we couldn't find a place. Like, we were just like, all right, fuck it. Like, we just need to park and prep.
Parked, we prepped the truck, and then we're like, wherever we're going, dude, we're gonna open the windows and go for it. Like, we're so fucked right now. We drove around LA for fucking hours.
Wow, that's amazing.
And
yeah, I mean, I think this actually teaches, because we've always thought about having a food truck ourselves, and I congratulate you guys on taking that endeavor because I do think your food looks amazing.
When we're done with this podcast, we're going to, actually, Alex, you probably have the photos on your phone. You could probably shoot them to them now, and we can get an actual reaction of what our truck actually looks like. It exists. We just haven't gone.
I'm so proud of you guys.
No,
I think the show provided an invaluable experience for all of us in regards to what it is like to have a food truck. And, we've always considered that as an option, having these restaurants and people wanting us to be a little bit more mobile. And, I love the idea of a food truck, gourmet food on wheels, for sure. That's what it was, its original purpose. And so I definitely think the show showed us how much you have to be in control of all these variables to be successful as a food truck. And that's weather, marketing, the right food, the right price, the right team, customer service. I mean, there's so many different aspects.
I'm still catching myself because I'm nodding with you and I'm not talking to our listeners. Like, I'm just nodding along like, yes, everything you're saying is right.
Yeah. So, I mean, if anybody is curious about opening up a food truck and doesn't, maybe wants to have that experience, obviously apply for the show. That could be a great opportunity for you, but I would definitely suggest going and working on a food truck or going to a mentor that has a food truck,
or even doing do a small pop-up tent at like a food festival and see if you can even handle that, because I think a lot of people get into it and they don't realize how much work it is. One of the things I learned about the food truck is a lot of things, obviously we have a budget, and gas is provided by the show that we don't have to really worry about our budget. And any repairs that happen, obviously the show just made that happen. But I was like, damn, if this was our own truck, our generator would have had to been replaced twice, and we would have had to have somebody come to us. Like if you think about actually submitting that, I was like,
doing a little bit of knowledge that we have, like now, like they have like a roadside service, like it's like AAA, but it's not a little more expensive. But they do have like a AAA service that comes out and does that for you. And
that's fantastic.
And
we got that already.
Yeah, we was like, fuck that shit.
Well,
it's our Eddie.
I met actually in Palm Springs. I met a food truck. The only food truck operator there in Palm Springs, or one of them. And I was like, I thought they didn't have any food trucks. Well, he said he does it, but he basically said the way he's successful is by securing contracts. So he secured all the contracts for all the high school football games, and he secured all the contracts for these big events that happen at this venue. So I was like, okay, if you start planning a business based on that and you start getting these long contracts in, then I could see how you could depend on that income, and then you could do festivals here and there. But it's definitely, so is it pretty busy where you guys are mean, there's a ton of tourism and
there's a ton of tourism and there's a lot of opportunity. There are food trucks in this area. There's a lot of restrictions. A lot like Virginia Beach would be a lot like Palm Springs with like the restrictions and like you need to land those contracts and things like that. But the question that I know that is on everyone's mind, and I'm really waiting for Navin to come back.
It's coming back. It's coming. I got to get a gin and tonic.
Oh yeah, man. You do you. You do you, boo. All right, because I want like. What were the thoughts going through your minds when Tyler actually said you won?
He didn't say we won. We broke open the shell, right?
Yeah.
I had to look at the next shell because I literally was like, is this real or not? I was like trying to make sure that both shells did not have $50,000.
Yeah, one of the things that they... Oh, go ahead, Sarah.
I was just going to say that we were in complete shock because I was 100% convinced that we had lost. And so I was my stomach was in knots about it. And I just felt like we kind of let it slip through our fingers. So I was in total shock and disbelief when I saw that we cracked that open. I did not expect to see that pile of money there.
Oh,
I was nervous. I remember, so one thing that they don't show you on the show is that actually when we pulled up, it's at this place called Elysian Park, and it overlooks Dodger Stadium. It overlooks all of the skyline. I mean, it's a really cool location. But we got up there, and it feels like the entire production crew was there. Like, it was everybody there. And they had the table with the domes and all that set up in Tyler. But then they also had a 4-piece, like, jazz band there. And I don't think they showed that on the show at all.
I didn't see the jazz band at all. And like, trust me.
No, I don't think they showed it, but
they planned it for me.
They had music. Well, they had live music playing when we pulled up, and I thought like that was really auspicious. And I was like, you know what? No matter what happens, I was like, this has really been an amazing journey. And literally, we were there, and they were talking about these glass domes. And of course, somebody from the production department had made these things. And they were just stressing, like, make sure you break, that thing hard.
Yeah.
And I was more worried about us just making sure that we got it because I didn't want to screw up our take when the lunch ladies won. I literally was like, okay, the lunch ladies probably won. And I was like, we might have won just because I know we had decent sales, but I had no idea how the lunch ladies did. And they had told us that they knew a lot of people on the north side of Hollywood. So we were unsure. But
damn you, Eli.
Yeah, but when we broke it, I remember when they broke it, I was looking over Navin's shoulder, and I saw the money peeking through. But I felt like an animated cartoon where I did like the double fist wiping the eyeballs, like thing where I was like had to look at it again. And I remember the first words out of my mouth was like, "Oh fuck!" And I must have said it 3 times because then I caught myself like, "Oh shit, I forget where."
Yeah, you can't use that. Let's do another take. Yeah. Hold on. Do you have another dome? We need to break this again.
Yeah.
But I remember feeling in that moment, honestly, it was a weird mixed emotion in that moment because it was surprise and shock mixed with just happiness because we had worked so freaking hard and it wasn't just a show. It's all the 5 years of our restaurant, that's so taxing and,
hell yeah.
And all that had led up to that. It felt like a continuation of our restaurant. So I think that's why I lost it. I mean, I was breaking down in tears. But even in that moment, my heart was singing for the lunch ladies because obviously you guys saw how hard they wanted it, how much they wanted it. And I also saw how much hustle they had and how much work they put into it. So I hated that, they didn't win in a way. But of course, I mean, in that moment, I was just so like almost perplexed and overjoyed that I don't know. I don't even know what's going through my mind. But
and having a restaurant is no joke. I think everybody says the restaurant's the riskiest business, and it is. I mean, you are busting your butt all day. You're shopping, you're planning, you're serving, you got to deal with customers. I mean, there's so many different things that you have to deal with. Is a lot of it's bullshit, but if you're really passionate about cooking and feeding people and having them get that experience that's enjoyable, then, it can be really rewarding. And so, 5 years of having restaurants and to open that was really amazing because, we have bills to pay and we have
that's the thing. I think a lot of times Oh, I was gonna say, I think a lot of times, just real quick, Sarah. A lot of times, people from the outside are like, "Yeah, you own these restaurants, and you have all this stuff." We're still all self-funded. I mean, we built this business ourselves, and there are times where we definitely paid our employees and went without a paycheck. For I don't know how long. Weeks.
No, I completely understand.
The sacrifice is unreal in the restaurant business.
Damn, Andrew, let Sarah talk.
A lot of people don't.
No, it's okay.
Sorry. And go, Sarah.
Take a sip of your damn drink. Sorry, now I'm cutting her off.
I was just going to add to what they're saying is, it was a lot of struggle and strife for 5 years. And then on top of that, having to leave, we had just opened a restaurant, a new restaurant right before the show opened, and having to leave all that behind. I mean, we have a great staff and general manager, and we had a friend come out, but having to take all three of us out of that business to go do the show was incredible sacrifice. I almost didn't even agree to do it because I was so concerned about.
Sarah almost didn't want us to do the show because we just launched a new concept, and it was pretty. It's not just like a thing you would launch. It's kind of involved. It's pretty involved, and it's in a downtown park, and it would be activated with different events and stuff like that. So it was a lot to juggle. And we were managing that while the show was going on. I felt worse for Navin because he would handle a lot of the, like something's broken and costs a lot of money, and we need a decision on this kind of decisions. But we had some staff turnover.
Bullshit.
Yeah, yeah. Then we had some staff turnover while we were gone too, which like our management had to make decisions on that, and it just it was pretty stressful in addition to doing the show. But our focus was trying to be as much as possible on the show and just basically say, well, we can't do anything about that now.
And I think also Sarah, we talked about it when we were doing the show, but she had just gotten surgery on her hip in December. And she was recovering from that.
We interviewed for the show. The show didn't know this, but I was in a wheelchair, and so going on a show that is based around a race was not on my bucket list. It made me very anxious.
Damn, you're best friends.
They actually talked about wanting us for the season prior. But I knew, I was like, I am not going to be able to walk by then.
By the way, thank God none of us went on the season prior.
Oh, yeah.
Because as much as I would like to bitch about the 117-degree, heat, they put snow chains on.
Yeah.
And they were selling in a blizzard.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Did you watch season 11?
So
I did. Yeah, absolutely.
I have a question though, since you brought up, getting into the show. How did you get into the show? Because
I want to know everyone's.
Yeah, you have the same question. Huh?
All right, so how did you guys end up applying for the show?
Well, so I was on Guys Grocery Games, which Guys Grocery Games recruited me. Actually, through Sarah, they called our restaurant saying.
What episode were you on Guy Grocery's Games? Because I watch that on the regular.
Yeah, so I was on the spiciest episode. I think it's season 16.
It's not spicy. It's
spiciest episode. So I got on that show, and that was a fun experience for me, and it actually really helped our business quite a bit. Just saying that we've been on Food Network, and of course highlighting the dishes that we cook. So a couple months later, I really thought, hey, why don't I apply to a bunch of Food Network shows and see if we can get casted in another one? And then Great Food Truck Race reached out to us a year later. And
it was actually when I was picking them up from their honeymoon. They got in the car and literally
Sarah comes in. Boom, you liar.
The first thing that they said to me was, we got an audition for this show. And I was like, what are you talking about? I was like, what have you gotten us into?
What the fuck is that? Hold on.
This is a plaque. Andrew created this shadow box.
Oh, it's a shadow box.
It's a plate that GFTR signed and the shirt I wore. It's awesome. So
that is.
Oh, it's season 16, episode 4.
Oh, here.
Season 16, episode. Hold on.
Anyway, Johnny's shadow box.
Because I'm a huge fan of the game, and
I'm gonna judge you on how fast you went after he says 3, 2, 1, go. Because you know he says it in the middle of the sentence, and I want to know how.
The show.
I'm pretty sure I've already seen it. I'm pretty sure I've already seen it. I just didn't know it was you, and now I'm really pissed off that I went up against you. Well, and if I had known all that shit going into it, I was like, yo, bitches, this guy's legit. Like, and he's a drag queen. We are so fucked.
That is sweet, and I will take as many compliments as you want to send me. But Guys Grocery Games.
I mean, mine are kind of backhanded, but I still love you.
Guys Grocery Games was really difficult, actually. I think Great Paper Race was difficult, but Guys Grocery Games, I mean, you get a challenge, you got to curate a menu in your head, go shopping in a store that you've never shopped before, prep, cook, and play it all in 30 minutes. So, I mean, that was a lot. But that set me up for the challenges of the food truck race. So, when we're in a time frame and we needed to cook something on the fly. So,
you have 9 minutes in the air. Go.
Yeah. Damn it, Dooley. All Dooley had to do. Dooley had one job. He just had to cut the damn tuna.
What was that, Navin?
I'm sorry.
I said our salad was plenty colorful. God damn it, Dooley.
You know what?
Yeah, he's like, I got 6 fucking colors in this bitch. I don't know what he's talking about. It needs to be more colorful. I got you. I got you on that. But damn it, Dooley, I asked you to do one fucking job and cut the tuna in the same fucking cut. But that's why we love him, man.
Yeah. I love that. Actually, when you guys presented your salad in Palm Springs, I was like, damn. I mean, it did look like a lot, but I was like, I already was like, that looks pretty good. Well, that judge was the most unique judge out of all the judges we had.
Holding those plates that long, like, because we were last.
Yeah.
We were last. I was like holding those plates for 45 minutes. Like, I was
your hands are shaking,
dude. Like, no, like my at that point when I'm walking up, my hands are shaking, like, because I've been holding these plates for so damn long.
You know what's crazy?
And I got like a pound of tuna on each plate.
In Vegas, our challenge was to do the room challenge. Go to room service.
Yeah.
And so they're like, it only takes 20 minutes. Well, in actuality, by the time we got our food, we cooked our food on the truck in the downstairs.
We are allowed to talk about this now, right? Like, I just don't want to get like something from the
food.
Yeah,
we can talk about it.
We can talk about it now, right? Because it's over.
Do you think they actually listen to
this? Fuck, I don't know.
Some PA's getting paid to listen to this podcast right now.
Poor bastard. Anyway, go ahead.
No, I said post it after Wednesday.
Why Wednesday?
Well, she said any press that we can do it on our own after Wednesday.
Oh, so do it after Wednesday.
Just do it after Wednesday.
All right, so our Monday podcast will be a Wednesday podcast. Okay.
Thursday. After Wednesday. We can make that happen.
Post date things.
We can make
that happen. We
don't
have to, like, after this is recorded, like, we can listen to it, and then we can just set the date for it to post. So 12 o'clock Wednesday, you guys can go on any podcast app and listen to yourselves and become as vain as we are.
Hey, I'm curious. Now let me ask you guys this. So our challenge was room service for Vegas. What would you guys have done?
What were the other stipulations?
Yeah, what was the stipulations?
Like, I'm the interviewer now.
Yeah, all right. Hey man, well, let's flip the script. Let's do it.
What would you? So our challenge, was room service, and it had to be something that could go basically from the kitchen and be delivered in 20 minutes. So what would you guys have made?
I mean, were there any protein stipulations or anything, or was it just like you could do anything you want?
I think there were 4 proteins, and so we were assigned one when we did the roulette wheel.
Yeah.
But, so it was salmon.
The roulette wheel. The roulette wheel. That's
salmon, chicken, crab, or the Wagyu beef.
That's right. Because you guys ended up with a Wagyu, I believe.
Beef, yeah.
Yeah, the beef.
Okay, well,
so if you guys got to choose your meat and then had to make something, what do you guys think you'd do?
Well, if we got to choose, I'd go Wagyu all the way.
And then
burger?
Say that again?
No, not a burger. What would y'all have done with the beef?
Because us handling the meat before.
Wait, say that again for my podcast.
handling the meat before. We're fortunate enough to have amazing people around us that deliver things to us, and so us doing, we probably would have went back toward the ceviche kind of thing.
You
With
mean
the
like sashimi?
sashimi, not sashimi. It's not sashimi or fucking what? It's
Oh, you know what? They also gave us.
I would.
ground
We
wag-
would.
They
would
did tell us it had to be an entree and a side. That's what it was.
Oh,
That's
an
what-
entree and a side. Yeah.
The wagyu
yeah,
would
to use
literally just
use
be
it
like
both
seared.
ways. Yeah, because like all we've ever done with wagyu, like because we cut it so thin, and then we just sear it real fast, and it's raw. It's
like beef sushi. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. It's
why am
delicious.
why am I drawing a blank right
Well,
now?
that's
I don't know.
yeah. See, that's what. See, they actually gave us ground wagyu beef. So
Oh, that's
we-
just
we-
fucked
damn.
up.
Is that where the burger?
Yeah.
I was wondering. Okay,
That's
Why
why
was
we
it
did
burger?
the
okay, because I was wondering like who the hell did a burger?
Then yes, we would have
No,
done
we
the
would
burger.
have done. We would
hands
have done
down.
steak
Who-
or.
Oh, that burger was fucking good though.
I
Yeah,
don't
the burger
doubt
was
it.
good.
What burger was it? Because I saw the burger like it was like after we left, it was like we had already left the show and no one had gone anywhere near a burger, and then all of a sudden there's a burger like on the commercial, and I was like, who the hell did a burger?
No, you guys put like an egg on top of yours and everything, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that was our burger, but the egg was overdone, and they felt
They were
like
just
our,
nitpicking. They were nitpicking.
They were nitpicking.
They're gonna
But
nitpick.
I'm telling
They're
you-
looking for anything.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, the moment they unveiled that for like photography and stuff, everybody in the room was like, "Holy shit!"
And what's crazy is you go back. So they were like Tyler even, and this didn't make it for air, but Tyler's like, I'm not even gonna touch that. Talk about like the French fries because they look soggy. Like you wouldn't even taste them. But I literally was like, if you go back and look at the video, I shook them, and you can hear the crispiness of them. But that's what I was gonna say. By the
You had
time
to dome them and run them.
It's
and,
like 20 minutes before they try it.
and then not only that, we covered them, and then we ran them through the casino, and we recorded it several times. And then we went up an elevator. Then we waited in the hallway.
Right.
Then they set up
And
our
not
shots.
not
I mean,
like
that was
not
probably
6
an hour.
floors. How many floors did you go up in the elevator?
No, like
It was.
20
I think
something.
No, I think it was on the 40s something floor. It was pretty high up there. Now the presidential suite was amazing too, and it was funny that like they gave us 2 rules. They're like, don't touch anything in the rooms. Like they wanted all the teams to go to their own. This thing was so huge; it had like all these different bedrooms. They're like,
Sarah knows.
don't. Yeah,
What's
they're like,
coming.
don't touch anything and don't get in the beds. Sarah and John from Bachelor Kitchen heard that as go ahead and make
Separately.
yourself comfortable as fuck.
Get in
Make
there.
yourself comfortable as fuck. So we came in there, and Sarah's like laying on the bed doing sheet angels.
Okay, so let me just tell you what happened. Yeah,
Was it the most softest bed you ever been
I
in?
know that no one else can see you, but I love the look on your
Yeah.
face that
Yeah,
says,
she's-
I mean, yes, that happened, but let me explain.
Yeah.
Let me explain. Yeah, no, they put each team in their own bedroom, and listen, we were so exhausted, and I just heard her say, like, you can sit
Bed.
anywhere, and then something about the bed, and so I didn't get in the bed, but I did sit down on it immediately.
But our room was the only room that had a bidet, apparently, in the bathroom.
Uh-huh.
So everybody that was on that fucking cast came in to use the bidet, whether they were just pushing the buttons or whether they actually went to the bathroom. And so as we're like trying to wait for our elimination, we just hear people over there getting sprayed.
Dropping deuces and getting sprayed.
Well, and so what's so funny is,
That's a
Andrew was
lot
like,
different.
Sarah, Andrew was like, Sarah, you're on the bed, get off, and I was like, oh my God. And then, like, literally in the other room, John is in the bed under the covers taking Instagram photos.
Oh, yeah.
Somehow that doesn't surprise me.
At every level,
Was
it just one of
Pistachio
the-
in the photo?
By the way,
Yes.
Yeah,
Pistachio
he was in the bed.
Pistachio is
But you
marked
know, you
safe.
guys,
Well, I don't-
Pistachio is marked safe from Saturdays. Like he
Yes.
he,
Yeah.
he,
Yeah.
he texted us like because we were cooking a pig. He's marked
that
safe.
looked good.
Gave us a quick
Oh, it was.
quick text. He's I'm good, guys. Do what you got to do. Make it through this
Yeah.
quarantine.
Well, I will say John and Billy's personality definitely came out after Stephon went home.
Who's that? Newly?
no, not Dooley.
That's Troy.
I was like, what was
oh
you
shit.
need an on-air sign.
we
have
have
another
one. We just
fucking
didn't turn
back
it on.
It's also in the garage, so it doesn't help. Like,
Yeah, we definitely did. We have an on-air sign. We just did not turn that on.
I'm like, is that another fucking fat kid? We need to put some restrictions.
I mean, basically, it is another fat kid.
He's actually the guy who brings us the Wagyu and like all the tomahawk steaks. So he gets a pass. He gets a pass.
Yeah, we like anyone that brings the meat.
Yes, yes.
Now let me ask. So our last challenge was the tiramisu thing in LA. Which we had to do a $15.
That'd have been all him, dude. Tiramisu. That's his. That's
what
his
would you have done
wheelhouse.
that? Because you had to have a $5 dessert and a $15 dessert.
Oh,
So like both of them tiramisu, or did the tiramisu?
They had to use at least 2 or 3 ingredients of tiramisu.
oh. So
What would you guys have done?
like whether it be espresso, cream, the lady
The
fingers.
ladyfingers.
Yeah. Like so. All right, Alex, you're up, bitch.
5 and 15.
And on the truck, right? Like using the
It's got to
equipment.
be fried, yeah.
Using the
right?
equipment you have on the truck.
Oh fuck.
Yeah, we would have did a tiramisu fritter at least,
Probably.
and then after that it's all him, man. Like I don't do the sweet part. Like that's like every
Tiramisu fritter sounds amazing.
when you think about like Team Fat Kid, everyone has a job or
See,
like something that they're super strong in. And that's how we would divide these tasks. Like, if it was the Ladyfinger Challenge, like, Dooley and I would have been staring at Alex like,
Yeah, no, that would have been all me. I mean,
So Alex, you are all sweets.
I'm the sweets guy, and I definitely think the tiramisu fritter would probably be our $15 one with like a powdered sugar and like
the fritter.
glaze.
The fritter would have got us home.
But like you said, 5 and 15, right?
Yeah, for 5
So
and 15.
Yeah, you did a 5 one.
I'd probably do like almost like an ice cream or like a.
How the hell are you gonna make ice cream on a fucking food truck?
We have the fucking food processor.
Yeah,
I'm not talking
no
ice cream.
freezer.
or like a
you should do a shake.
milkshake.
We talked about doing like.
But you could
almost
do
like,
a $5 shake.
I was thinking like ices. Could you do like almost like
would be so decadent.
or almost like like a coffee cream like milk. Milkshake. It'd almost be like an icy though. So I mean, like it's kind of tough calling it a milkshake.
Did they
but-
give you guys any extra equipment like they did like in previous shows, like the donut maker and shit? Like they gave teams like
just
a donut
like
maker.
you have what you have to
none of
go.
that stuff.
See, this is one thing that I didn't understand. In like maybe it's just us because our truck was left dirty as fuck. But we
Ours was
found
bad.
we found donut makers and all that shit in our truck.
Oh yeah, like it
And-
was left. There was like
No.
a box
It was
with
left.
a donut
It was
maker.
left from the previous season,
and
like
still dirty.
it was dirty as shit, and we still washed it. And it was like this might come in handy, so we kept the donut maker. Like,
Hey, that's whatever. I mean, honestly, no. Our truck I felt was very stripped down, and it was pretty dirty when we got it. But another thing that our truck had is, of course, like our pilot light would go out all the time. Our generator sometimes wouldn't work. But the worst thing was, no matter how I tried to secure the oil in a fryer, it would splash around. We saran wrap that shit every time. So
ours
I
had
told
like a
everybody
drop
to
down lid that locked in place.
See, but
ours did too.
our
Ours did too.
flat,
It's
our
just
flat
the
top,
looks.
like the catch for the flat top, would literally
Yeah.
like if you had a hard turn, it would literally just like come out onto the floor.
Ours was just a loose pan sitting there. So
Yep.
basically, I would be like, "Oh shit, we forgot to remove." I would find that spilled out somewhere. But what was crazy is I told everybody in our truck, I'm like, we got to the point where I'm like, just walk like a geisha, because it was so slippery. I was like, you'll just slide everywhere. Even our cameraman got to the point where they were just sliding around, which made it actually more efficient because you could just slide from the front to the back. At the
I got this. I got this.
Now, did you guys
Slide to the left. Slide to the right.
Slide to the right.
Did you guys see the dessert we made at the winery?
We didn't make it to the winery.
I think he's saying.
No,
Oh,
I'm saying-
chicken.
No, watching as a fan.
Oh. I was like, bitch,
No.
damn, man, like, you don't remember that we weren't there?
No,
Don't hurt
I
my
made a
feelings,
dessert
man.
that had I made a dessert that had Team Fat Kid all over it because it was a fried funnel cake with marshmallow cream.
yes.
I would have thrown bacon in it.
Oh yeah.
Oh, man.
But we didn't have
like,
bacon.
Dude.
No,
like,
I'll
no.
just tell you, as a kid, I have to be an honorary Team Fat Kid because as a kid, I flavored everything with bacon grease. Like everything's bacon grease and like butter. I was like, I know it calls for 1 stick, but I'm going to go ahead and put 3 in.
That's how I
because I
feel
knew
about
no
garlic.
matter what I
like-
did.
Garlic, it's like 2 cloves. No, you measure that shit from the heart.
garlic
Yeah,
is-
you gotta. That comes from the soul. Like how much garlic
Yeah.
you gotta add, and bacon
You
grease.
have to. I throw it in. Now, thank God they had the minced garlic now. Because I'm just like,
Oh, see, man,
spoonful that out.
now you're losing a little street cred. You have to cut your
I
own
don't care.
garlic. You have to cut. You have at least. I'm allowing you to buy whole peeled, but you have to cut it yourself.
break it up. No.
Like you don't
it's
like. Hey, you just got
You know
punched. You just got punched on the Team Fat Guy card. You
I
lost
actually
one.
I agree
Something-
with you on that, actually, because I just started pressing my own garlic because I used to buy the store-bought minced in the jar, and I don't know if it starts out okay, but like after a while, it has a really bad taste.
Yeah, no,
Like,
Sarah, that is not okay. And at least you're pressing it. I'll allow the pressing. Andrew, buying your own garlic chopped already, like you, Sarah, teach him.
All right, if it says anything,
Listen,
if it says anything,
listen. If I'm making something uber gourmet, I'm going to go through all the steps. But
Yeah.
if I'm making it for myself, I'm going to scoop it out of a fucking bin.
It's a difference. It's a difference. It's a difference between cooking for 10 people and 300 people.
have you guys ever used black garlic?
That's true.
black garlic?
Have you ever used black garlic?
No, but
No.
I'm not garlic racist.
Yeah,
Essentially,
we like any color of garlic.
it's almost like a fermented garlic, and it's apparently supposed to take about a month to make.
Oh,
We decided we were going to make it. It took us 3 months to make black garlic, but we used the
Wow,
shit
but
out
you-
of it.
and
Are you
now
selling it on the black market?
no, actually, McCormick.
Bad joke.
You can actually get it now. McCormick actually makes it like in the jar.
But we made our own. And
What
it's
makes it black? It's just fermented.
It's fermented, and it has like a really strong. I would almost say Worcestershire sauce flavor to it. Like it brings garlic to a whole new place. Use sparingly. I recommend you guys trying it out.
That sounds
you don't
amazing.
have to make your own.
Making your own. Making your own.
Do they have minced black garlic?
It comes in a powder form. It comes in a powder form. But if you make your own, you can
That's cool.
do a hard grind
A
on
powder
it.
form. You're giving me a hard time about minced garlic with a powder.
But hey, man, with the black stuff, man, it's completely dehydrated. There's no moisture in it anymore, and it's fermented.
I'll try it. That sounds good to me.
Just get the little bottle from the store before you
well worth it.
you purchase like the half pound
Yeah.
from the those guys that
I'll have to try it.
Yeah. Well, we definitely want to do and I know like COVID threw us off from doing like a big get together, but we're gonna have to make that honestly
happen.
Hope you guys take us up on that. Y'all are in Dallas. I hope you come visit us, and then same thing with us if we ever are on your side of town. But would love for us all to eventually maybe plan something in the future where we could do like a potluck, and so we could all
Actually try
show
each other's food?
Yeah, and just have a good time with it.
I
Have some
mean,
drinks.
I want that burger. And I want
we'll meet back up in Vegas.
I don't
Vegas
know.
would be a good
I'm fine
place.
with Dallas. I got family there. That's an easy
okay.
sell for me. Like
Yeah, Dallas may be cheaper.
I got my sister lives in Fort Worth, so
okay.
yeah.
Well, that's awesome.
We're down the street. We can make it a reason to visit. I got a nephew down there that I've never met before.
Yeah.
if it wasn't for the COVID, we would have been there already. But
Yeah, but don't stay with family because it's still gonna be boring. We're
definitely gonna stay in a hotel.
You
you
visit
come to Dallas
family.
to show you everything.
Yeah,
Honestly,
yeah.
It'll be a lot of fun.
Well, we want to thank you guys for coming on the podcast, but we do have one more thing. It's all about you now. So tell us what's coming up and what are you guys doing and the big things in Dallas. I mean, I know right now it's tough with the COVID and all that, but what's new coming on the horizon for you guys? Because this is your time. We're giving you the opportunity. I mean, this whole podcast has been about you, but now it's about your personal business. What are you?
one of the big, with COVID being in the air, we honestly have no idea what our restaurants are going to do or how everything's going to pan out. So we're trying to be open to change and flexible with.
Don't forget to
everything that's going
plug all your shit right now.
on. Okay.
No, I mean, we've had a really successful journey, but there's a lot to think about right now with the COVID crisis. Texas is about to reopen in May 1st, and we definitely don't feel like that's safe enough for our employees, especially with the location that our restaurant's in. So, there's definitely a lot of ways that it could go. Our ultimate goal is to continue the Spice in the City, Lucky Cat Vegan, Hot Off the Press, and Cajun Queen concepts.
And I was going to say,
speak back, it's like Navin,
more uplifting.
Like get closer. Like no, when you're talking, get closer to the microphone because like you're breaking up. Like there you go. Lean in a little bit. There you go. Like
well, I was just saying, like we are so thankful for the show. I think it was definitely an amazing component of our journey, having restaurants with the coronavirus. We definitely have decided to continue to close till it's safest for our employees and staff and customers and the patrons of the building that we reside in. So I think we're making the best decision right now for us, and we'll see if what happens next.
But in the meantime, we actually we started a Chef Navin YouTube channel. So we're posting videos of cocktails that I make, and then recipes that Navin does. And so you can go to YouTube and search for Chef Navin, Navin, and find it there. And also, because Team Fat Kid had an amazing swag section on their website, and through your guidance, we set up a website as well. You can go to dragfoodtruck.com, which is where everything that about Mystikka Masala exists, dragfoodtruck.com. And when you go on there, you can find our swag site. You can get a free drag name. So if you don't have a drag name, you can get it. And on there, we have everything. On the swag site, we have mugs that have all the drag names. We have like an I Love Drag Queen mug. We have shirts that we wore on the show that you can wear as well. So that's all at Drag Food Truck.
That's awesome.
All right, well.
But, Sarah, what do you got coming up? What are you doing? Like, plug all your crap right now. Like, all your photography, everything you got, like, do it.
All right. Well, you can go to my website, Hartshorn Photography, which is HARTSHORNE.com. And I am I do portraits, and sometimes I do weddings for friends, but I'm getting into a lot of, I don't know what you call it, just nature photography, but photoshopped and that kind of stuff. So that's what I'm working on. And I'm moving in about 12 hours. So
12? Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
as soon as we get
Are
off
you
this,
sitting on a box right now?
Yeah, like I got boxed.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I've been sitting on a box for the last hour and 17 minutes of this conversation.
Well, congratulations on your move, and thank you again, Navin, Andrew, and Sarah for joining us
Mystikka
today.
Masala.
That's right.
Guys.
Thank you, Team Fat Kid.
Hey, man, it's our pleasure. Like, we're hanging out with celebrities. That's what we do.
Oh, so sweet.
You're welcome. We'll send 8x10 glossy signed in the mail.
All right. Don't go anywhere yet. We're just going to wrap this podcast up real fast, and we'll talk to you in a second, all right? So, do your thing, guys.
Oh, Dennis, unmute yourself.
Yeah, he's been so good today.
Hi.
I'm sorry there's no music on our outro today, guys, but as usual, we are Team Fat Kid. Thank you again for listening. You can find us on any of your finest podcast listening apps. As usual, you can find us on Facebook at
Team Fat Cat.
on Instagram at
Team Fat Cat Nation.
on Twitter.
At Team Fat Cat.
What's wrong with you
we're
right
off
now?
today. We're
Yeah,
off
he's
today.
on delay.
Oh, he's on delay.
Oh,
That's
all
what
right.
it is.
He fixed himself. He was on delay.
All right.
Continue.
On Facebook at
Team Fat Kid.
on Instagram at
Team Fat Kid Nation.
on Twitter
At Team Fat Kid.
and on YouTube.
Team Fat Kid.
All right. As always, guys, thanks for listening. We'll catch you next week.
Next time, hopefully, we'll have some music or something. All right, guys. Thank you so much for listening.
Hey, wait, before you guys go, you're gonna want to fix your curtain in the back, because right now it looks like it says Team Fit Kid.
That would have been fucking
looks
great
like
for the
it.
toast truck. Hey, we're out.
Yeah.